Welcome back to another episode on Anxiety Doesn't Own Me podcast. My name is Emmanuel Isaacson, and I'm an anxiety coach who helps people to overcome and heal their anxiety naturally. Something that all anxiety strugglers want is, this is like the most important thing that they want, and the number one on their list is certainty. We all want 100% certainty. And when we don't get that, we feel very anxious. We become very anxious when we don't feel certain about a situation. Think about it this way. Whenever we are something that's going to happen in the future, we need to go somewhere or do something, we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. We have no idea. And that makes us feel uncertain and we get anxious. So every time we need to go somewhere or do something, we automatically feel anxious because we don't know what's going to happen. Are we going to experience a panic attack? Is something bad going to happen to me over there? We start getting into this negative mindset and we have this uncertainty in our life and we become very, very anxious. And the question is, how do we get certainty for the future? How is that even possible? Is it even possible to do that? How can we look at the future and feel good about it? How can we do that? This is something that I asked myself. Okay, you know what? Certainty is what I need in my life because when I have anxiety, the reason why I'm having anxiety is because I don't have certainty in my life. And this is why, guys, we go to the doctor. By the way, when we have health anxiety, why are we going to the doctor? Because the doctor gives us certainty. Every single time when I used to go to the hospital, the reason why is because I needed them to check to make sure that I was okay. But I asked myself, okay, how many times am I going to go to the doctor? I'm sick and tired of going to the doctor. I'm sick and tired of stressing myself out and trying to control everything just to make sure that I'm feeling okay. It's frustrating and it drains us out tremendously. It just drains us out. But the question is, okay, you know what? What can I do now? How can I make myself feel much better? How can I make myself feel much calmer? That's the question that I ask myself. What can I do? Because I'm sick and tired of going to the doctor. I'm sick and tired of going to the hospital. I'm sick and tired of feeling this way. And it's impossible, guys. It's impossible to always be 100% certain about a situation. And if we are always looking for that, we are going to be controlled with anxiety for the rest of our lives. But what can we do? We have no way of predicting the future. We can't. It's impossible. But what we could do is look at the future in a more of a positive way. In a more of a hopeful kind of way, that things aren't going to go bad, that things are actually going to go good, that good things are going to happen over there. So if we are afraid, like for me, for example, whenever I was afraid of going on buses or being by myself, because right away, I would think if I'm on myself, I can faint. If I faint, I can crack my head open. If I crack my head open, who's going to be there to take me to the hospital? I fainted. I can't be conscious. I may bleed out. What's going to happen to me? So that would freak me out. And all of a sudden, I'll just have anxiety. My anxiety would go through the roof. But what can I do? What can I do in order for me to feel much better? I can change that narrative in my mind and tell myself, okay, you know what? Who says, how many times have I been by myself? Number one, I've been by myself so many times and I was fine. I haven't fainted, by the way, guys, once in my life. Not once that I experienced myself faint. It has never happened. I've seen maybe once or twice people fainted that's in front of me, but something happened to them. It wasn't just all of a sudden something happened and boom, they just fainted. So I would say to myself, okay, you know what? Number one, that's never happened to me. Number two is that why am I automatically going there? Because I'm afraid. I said to myself, I'm afraid that something bad is going to happen, so I need to protect myself. And the way I protect myself is by having people around me to make sure that I'm going to be okay. But I was getting sick and tired of always needing to rely on everybody else but myself. That I need to rely on doctors, by needing to rely on people, by always needing to be around somebody. I was sick and tired of living that way. I was sick and tired of being that kind of way. So what I did is that I changed the narrative and I looked at the situation in a positive way. I said, okay, you know what? Being on your own is not a bad thing. Stop associating yourself being alone as a bad thing. It's actually a good thing. That shows that the way you're progressing and you're actually growing. That's number one. Number two, it's peaceful sometimes to be on your own. It is peaceful because I was sick and tired of being around people. Sometimes I just wanted to be by myself. I needed to recharge. So that's another positive thing. Another positive thing that is being about your own. I can do things, get things done much quicker than when I'm in somebody. So I would try to look in more in a positive way, and I would tell myself, Emmanuel, it doesn't mean just because that you are on your own that you are going to faint or something bad is going to happen. It could be that something good is going to happen. So I would instill the hope inside of me so that I feel much better. That is one way that we can feel much better about the future, is by looking at it more in a positive way and predicting it being more positively. And being more hopeful about the situation can help us to calm down tremendously and take away and give us certainty about that. I just want to let you guys know that it's impossible to get certainty from anybody else or from anything else. And we need to be that certainty. We need to be that certainty. We need to be that person, because we can go to the doctor, right? Let's say, for example, someone has health anxiety and they are constantly going to the doctor to check to make sure that everything is fine. What happens? It's a cycle, if you realize. We go to the doctor because we feel like we have a certain symptom. We either Google, which makes our anxiety worse. We go to the doctor to make sure that everything is fine. After the doctor office, we feel great. Like, oh my God, I feel okay. You know what? Everything is fine. But what happens after a few minutes? What happens after a few minutes, all of a sudden it's like, wait, maybe the doctor made a mistake. Oh, wait, maybe the test that they did was wrong. Maybe they did the wrong test. Or maybe there was a mistake in the test. What happens afterwards? Now how do you feel? We feel again anxious. So what have we done? It hasn't really given us that relief, because again, we're looking for that external circumstance to give us that relief. But the thing is that it's impossible. It's impossible to get that from an external situation, from an external person, from whatever it is. It's impossible to feel much better. We need to be that certainty. We need to be that confidence. We're looking, you see, that's the key. Confidence. That's why I always say confidence is key. If you have confidence, your anxiety reduces tremendously, because confidence gives you certainty. So we need to work on the confidence. Sometimes we may not know what might happen in the future, and the only way we actually know is by going and doing that thing, taking that risk. Like for me, for example, whenever I was on the journey of working towards helping people to overcome their anxiety, I didn't believe, or I didn't think that I would be successful in doing it, because I was the only one and maybe a handful of people that was able to help. But I always felt like, you know what, I'm not capable in doing it, because I didn't have the confidence or the belief within me that I was able to do it. But the only way that I actually knew is whenever I actually put myself in it and I saw the results and I saw that I was able to help people. I was like, oh my God, I'm able to do this. I'm actually able to succeed in this thing. And before that, I would talk to myself and say to myself, Emmanuel, why do you think you're going to fail right away? Who says you're going to fail? Maybe you're going to become very successful in it. And maybe you actually will, because listen, you've helped, number one, yourself. You've helped a handful of people in overcoming their anxiety. So it's possible. It's still possible that you will succeed. And you may actually impact some people's lives. Even if you help out one person, it's worth it. So why is it right away you think that you're not becoming successful? Because why? You don't have a degree? That you never went to school for this? You never went to college for this? This is the reason why? But that doesn't determine if you're capable or not, because you have the knowledge, you have the experience. You went through the trenches of anxiety and you got out of it. And you saw what it's like, and you know what it's like much more than the psychologist who went to school for this and has no idea what it actually feels like to experience anxiety. has no idea what it feels like to have anxiety every single day, because it's not a, you know what, I have anxiety about one thing, okay, that thing went away and that's it, I feel much better. I wish it was that easy. It's much more complex than that, and it's much more deeper than that. And having that experience is so crucial. These are the things that I told myself to help me to calm down, to help myself, you know what, I'm able to do this. And this is something that we can do for ourselves in the end of the day, that we need to give ourselves that certainty. And the best way is to look at the situation, at the future, whatever it is, in a more positive way, in a more hopeful way. It helps us to calm down. And to talk to yourself and tell yourself that, you know what, I am capable in overcoming my anxiety. Because a lot of us, we feel that we are not capable, that we're stuck in this and we're not going to be able to overcome it, and we're stuck in this tunnel. And we can tell ourselves, you know what, I am going to be able to overcome this situation. I am going to be able to overcome and control my panic attacks. I'm capable in doing that. That gives you certainty. Instead of going to the doctor all the time, you're going to give ourselves certainty and tell ourselves, you know what? I feel fine. I am healthy. I am a healthy person. Everything is fine. What I'm experiencing right now is anxiety. The anxiety is creating all these symptoms and all this worry that something bad is going to happen to me and I have some sort of health issue. But the reality is that I'm totally fine. And going to the doctor, as we have seen in the past, hasn't really helped. I've been to the doctor multiple times and everything is fine. Now, again, guys, I just a disclaimer. I'm not telling you not to go to the doctor and anything like that. If you feel like something's wrong, go to the doctor. I'm talking about if you have the same symptom over and over and over again and the doctor said everything's fine. Like my sister, she has a sore throat most of the time and she's worried that it's strep. She goes to the doctor to do a strep test and like, hey, everything's fine. She's like, okay, what is it? Until I found out, I'm like, listen, the sore throat is one symptom of anxiety. So she was continuously going to the doctor and they didn't find anything. And she was worried that it was something worse than strep. Until I told him, like, listen, it's an anxiety symptom. It's coming from your anxiety. So I'm not saying not to go to the doctor if you feel like a symptom, because at the end of the day, we don't know about that. And we want to make sure, yeah, we go for that symptom. But if it's happening over and over again, okay, we already know it's from our anxiety. We 100% know that it's from there. But to conclude over here, guys, at the end of the day, we need to give ourselves certainty. And the way we do that is being more hopeful about the future, being more positive about the future, being more confident within ourselves, talking to ourselves, and giving ourselves the certainty instead of the anxiety, winning the battle and telling ourselves, like, but what if? Like I spoke in the last episode, but what if this time it's wrong? And making us feel very uncertain, we need to talk back to the anxiety and give that certainty by telling it that everything is okay. It's okay to feel this way. Nothing bad is going to happen. Good things are actually going to happen. This way, we're able to calm down the anxiety and actually feel much better. If you did like this episode, please click the like button and leave a 5-star review. The reason why I ask is because this way we're able to reach more people. And the more people that we can actually reach, the more people that we can actually help. Because my mission in this world, my purpose is to help people to overcome and heal their anxiety naturally and show them that it's possible to overcome. Thank you guys. Take care. And I'll see you guys in the next episode.